All right, greetings, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So, I just want to do a couple quick lessons here in technical analysis, right? A lot of people they overthink it, or whatever. And what even like really kind of gets me angry or upset is, I mean, people diminish what we do with this dumbass stuff like Elliott wave or Gann theory. Let me tell you something. I was in the institutional trading world for 25 years. I never once ever met someone who's a legitimate trader that uses Gann theory or Elliott wave or Fibonacci or whatever. It just doesn't exist in the real world, at least in the institutional world. Maybe in the retail trading world it works, but if someone wants to teach you about Gann theory, head for the hills, man, and come over here, right? I mean, Gann theory is so easily disproven. Alexander Elder, who's like this famous trading teacher, went and met with Gann's son. Gann's son himself told him it's all a scam. I mean, Gann was an unsuccessful stockbroker. He started a somewhat successful newsletter, and somehow over the years it got turned into all this bizarro stuff. If Gann was alive today, and I've read all of Gann's books, not the books about him, but the books by him, if you put a Gann box on something here, you wouldn't even know what the hell this is. I mean, who the hell knows what that is? All right, that's my rant. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'm sorry. It just diminishes what we do. Real technical analysts pay attention to what price levels are important, what's the momentum, what's the psychology, what's the trend. So we see these same patterns and things in different securities because what we're looking at is the psychology of the people that are doing the trading. And whatever you're trading, you experience the same emotions, whether you're a Bitcoin trader or a bond trader, whatever. So, anyway, tonight's lesson is okay, we tend to get resistance at former resistance levels. Now, you don't need to be a visionary guru like Gann or Elliott. It just kind of bothers me, but I guess people just, I don't know. People just want to think that there's like something to it, but there's not. Trust me. But there is something to recognizing why a price level that was resistance before can become resistance again. Oh, I'm going to write that down. Gann fallacy. Put that on YouTube. Hopefully, I'll get some feedback here. Right? We get to around 72.50, or I mean, sorry, 72,500. People buy. The price goes lower. What happens? We get back up to that level. It's resistance again. It goes lower, it gets up to that level, it's resistance again. It gets lower, it gets up to that level again, it's resistance again. Well, that's because there's people who bought back here at the resistance who regret doing so. So when it gets back to the level and they get out of break even, they're like, I'm out, man. So if enough remorseful buyers place sell orders, it creates resistance at the level that was resistance before. Buyer's remorse can keep resistance intact. Now, what could be more different than Bitcoin than Trump media? I mean, it's like some people think Trump is a Nazi. I guess, there's just stupid people everywhere. Hitler was responsible for the deaths of 70 million people. Biden is probably responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people because of Ukraine and the Middle East and the famine that was caused after the withdrawal from Afghanistan. But anyway, so here's Trump. What do we see? The same thing we saw in Bitcoin. All right, let me just kind of refresh you here. Bitcoin, crypto, resistance at a former resistance level, right? Now let's go look at Trump stock. I'm not saying I'm a big Trump supporter. I'm just saying I'm someone who studies history. It's like really offensive. And it's even worse is that people would actually buy into this stuff. Every person should be offended that they're comparing Donald Trump to Hitler. I don't care, if you hate Donald Trump, and you could. I have friends that do. But they're not that stupid. Trump didn't kill 70 million people. All right, same thing. Resistance at a former resistance level. Another thing you see is when we get to resistance, sometimes we sell off. And that's because some of the people that created the resistance start to think they're going to miss out. They know the buyers are going to go to whoever's willing to sell at the lowest price. So they don't want to miss. So they start undercutting each other. Okay. So we just saw the same pattern in Bitcoin as we do in Trump media and technology. Let's go look at Tesla. Lo and behold, what do we see? The same thing, resistance at former resistance levels. To reiterate, there are people who bought when the shares were at resistance. They start losing money when the price goes lower. And they say, if I could ever get out of this dog at break even, I'm going to. So when it finally gets back to their level, you have remorseful buyers placing sell orders. If there's enough, it creates resistance at the level that was resistance before. It has nothing to do with Gann theory. Oh, let's look at the old Fibonacci wedge. Now, I worked for Mario Gabelli. I worked for Steve Cohen back in the day. If I went up to Gabelli and was like, Mario, we should sell this stock because of this Gann fan, he'd be like, Petrino, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. You know, this guy didn't make $20 billion by paying attention to science fiction. All right, we're going to go check out JP Morgan. Same kind of a thing. What do we see? Resistance at former resistance levels. You know, you don't need to overestimate this stuff, everybody. It's just like, or overthink it, I should say. What levels are important? What's the momentum? Things that are overbought that get to resistance tend to sell off. Things that are oversold that get to support tend to rally. I know people that have become incredibly wealthy just by paying attention. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. But I know people that have become incredibly wealthy just by, these basic principles or understanding these basic principles. All right, now we're going to just take a quick look at Apple. Same thing, right? What could be more different than Donald Trump stock or Bitcoin or Apple, JP Morgan? But we see the same thing, right? Why? Because regardless of who is doing the trading, they experience the same emotions. When we look at a chart, that's what we see. All right, thank you for enduring my rant. And if you listen to what I'm telling you, you're going to end up making money in this trading game. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.